Hello, I'm Jonathan Miles. On the 18th of January, I went for a biopsy so that a piece of me could be taken and tested to see if I had prostate cancer. I have it. Monkey emoji with hands covering eyes. I've been doing updates on my progress on UnitedDJ.com, via Twitter at JonathanMiles61 and on my YouTube channel. If you're interested and have sent messages, thank you very much. I love you as much as I love my penis, which soon may not work as well as it has done for the past 57 years. So just to backtrack, in November I had some skin tags off at the doctor's where I mentioned, as I had in the past, that I thought I was weeing out more than I was taking in. I'd been for blood tests before and I'd had a PSA test before. But I was fine those times. This time, all different. I didn't go for bloods immediately because I was working, busy, tired, watching Grimm on Netflix starring David Giantoli, swoon, life stuff, and went for bloods on December the 14th. Blood taken, the doctor wanted to see me, but couldn't till January the 3rd. Obviously, he was busy putting tinsel around his blue plastic curtain at the time. January the 3rd, blood's back. The doctor said, "Your PSA is raised. I'm going to refer you." According to Macmillan, PSA is a protein made in the prostate gland. Some of this PSA leaks into the blood and can be measured in the PSA test. So I guess it's a means of telling whether something's amiss, but isn't an absolute or a diagnosis of anything as I've found. It's more of a temperature check. I think I can say that. I was 5.3. Someone said to me at that point, "I've seen PSAs far higher, you'll be fine." In hindsight. So that was the first bit of drama, and if you'd like to hear the MRI and biopsy tale which came next and all about the suppository dance and the aftermath, then it's available on my YouTube channel, and I tweeted a link to it too on Twitter from JonathanMiles61. Plus, it's available on my January the 26th show on United DJs on Mixcloud as well. God, I'm all over it like the cancer on my prostate. I could recap, but we'd never get dinner cooked. I mean, I do hope you haven't got your fingers in your ears whilst going la 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 la. Has he stopped yet? Oh, you have and are. My insecurities are now revving up like a Harley. So after all this, you're left waiting for the results. And a few days later, I got a letter asking me to attend for said results in May. Phew, I thought. Not much wrong then. I'd been told, you see, that if I got a letter saying come in next week or soon after you'd been in for your biopsy, that then there'd be more likelihood of cancer. And so it was that I got home from the same hospital that I'd had the biopsy in after an eye exam a week after the biopsy, and there was a letter negating May and asking if I can pop in on January the 31st. I was calm, and oddly still am. Am I weird? I mean, believe me, I'm questioning. At what point am I going to have the screaming abdabs and run for the Cheviots? Everyone's reaction is different, as I keep being assured, though. And so I popped to the hospital, again with my marvellously supportive sister Caroline, and we waited in the packed waiting room for an hour and a half before going in to hear the result from a surgeon. Now, if we were waiting because everyone there was there to be given a diagnosis like I got, and they were given that diagnosis with the same care and attention and time that I was given, then that's fine. If, however, the surgeons were just at lunch and kept us waiting, then I reach out and smack their legs. From popping in, I found that I have prostate cancer. What an enjoyable pop that wasn't. Luckily, Caroline took in more of the chat than I did from the Greek surgeon and the cancer nurse who was there too. The Greek surgeon, I observed, had eczema like I'd once had. Funny what you notice when you're being given bad news. They and my sister seemed to be erring towards prostate removal over other treatments at the time. The Greek surgeon said, "Us Greeks, we find something wrong, automatically it's whipped out." I now have a picture of Grecians wandering around with all sorts of bits missing, but still being able to sit down to a hearty tea of taramasalata. Yum. Don't forget the warm pita bread, please. However easy it is to say whip it out, they might not have enjoyed massaging their winky woos as much and as often as I have in 57 years. There was me thinking that much massaging meant a healthier prostate. Oh, ho, 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 how we laughed. Until we didn't. Yes, when I was given the news, there were a few tears from me, not giant sobs, but tears nonetheless. I think rescue remedy needs to be on hand for shocks, but then that's an alternative remedy and not available on the NHS. I found in this meeting that my tumour, how odd to say that, is treatable. Yay! But yuck nonetheless. I've had advice since, and I'm processing a lot. I'm processing After Effects. I'm processing the robot that may do an op. Likely to be under the astrology of retrograde Mercury. Oh dear. Well, you see, technology is prone to break under this retrograde. I'm processing a non-usable willy, and I'm processing the fact that I have cancer, a word I find it hard to want to say at the best of times. There it is, the bare bones, all whirring round my head like bees would be were my head covered in honey. I'm talking about all this because it's cathartic, I guess, and because everything is out there these days, isn't it? And it may help you. From having mentioned my biopsy on the radio on UnitedDJ.com, several male friends got in touch to say they were going to get checked, as my story had prompted them to. I also mention it because I had to interview a bunch of prostate cancer survivors once, and they told their stories to me, warts and all, so I owe it to them to share mine. I have no real symptoms, thankfully, and that's the weird part, and the scary thing for many. You don't feel ill. Or I don't. Well, except for my prostatitis brought on by the biopsy. However, it's weird that you could have something lurking within you that you hadn't bargained for, so better to be safe than sorry. If you're worried or thinking something or have a symptom you aren't sure about, get checked, pet. The whole thing hasn't been anything I planned for. All I was thinking about was trying to make more money in or out of radio, where I've worked as a presenter since, well, about 1987, I think. 2019 is supposed to be a Sagittarian year. Yay us late November, December babies, eh? For me, it ain't working out so well so far. Yes, I know we're only in bloody February. I have to say, after the piece I did on the biopsy, I didn't think I'd be updating you at all, or if I did, not with the news I got, that I now have a mini-me growing inside me, which has to be excised, or it could grow and spread like the fears over Brexit, till it's so huge it devours all the ferries from the company who had a contract but had no ferries. That's where they went. Jonathan's tumour ate them. Now we know. I thought I'd just be saying, I'm fine, but there's another pill to take at bedtime. How wrong was I? Anywho, the long and short of it is I have prostate cancer as diagnosed on January the 31st, Gleason 7, 4+3, PSA 5.3, T2 stage, and it's contained. Now, I think that's all correct. You may have had or be having or know someone who has had the same experience or similar or worse. So you'll have an inkling of all this and get it. I have to say, though, for me, I've never been good with blasted figures. If they could dress it all up and say, so your magic wand has grown and hardened and the gremlins have moved in, but the unicorns will prevail, it'd be nicer than quoting percentages, which I hate. I'll suggest it to my surgeon. I'm told I'm being quite pragmatic. Yay me! A gin before surgery then, Prof, maybe? I have to have an op. There are other procedures like brachytherapy where they put radioactive seeds in you flecked with gold, so I really could have been the man with the golden gum. Boom tish, I'm here till I'm not. But I'm not going to have that. Some treatments suit some, others, and it's dependent on your scores on the doors too, I think. Everyone is saying, it's a no-brainer, have the op, Jonathan, not the brachytherapy, thus completely removing the prostate and therefore the cancer. Okay then, that's a non-working willy for me in the future. Oh well, as people keep saying, at least you'll be alive. When do I run screaming again? So, all weird to process when it comes to the C word, I have to say, as you never think it'll happen to you, do you? I think for me, had it been a diagnosis of something else because of smoking, which now needs to stop, not that it caused this, but still, that I'd be in a far worse emotional state. Could anything else that may be lurking just bog off, please? I'll keep you informed here about what I find out along the way. How many leaflets are there? Can I just say, goodbye forests, hello your prostate and your sex life, prostate cancer and your finances, and many others. Well, I didn't have a sex life before, so it'll take the pressure off, and as for finances, a bleak look came across Jonathan's face suddenly. Anywho, I continue in what is described as a cancer journey, in my cancer bubble, with humour I hope. Next, it's a chat with the surgeon, and a date in the diary for the op. I'll be in touch. Hand on it.